Hi folks, so we are on the cusp of Islander issue 3 coming out. So I've got Islanders editor Rory to sit down with me and discuss, well, what happened with Islander 2, just because we want to be completely clear and transparent about it, and have a bit of a discussion about what's in this one. So let's move on to Islander issue 3, which is our winter edition. What's the theme behind this?
I'll leave it to the buyer to see the full reasoning, but it's basically the idea that civilizations and cultures have a sort of set lifespan, and they go through. This is influenced by Ortal Spengler. So you go through a spring period, which is kind of sort of where it's conceived out of a sort of series of events or a climate or whatever, and then you have the sort of summer, which is where it comes to its peak artistic
Full
flourishing, where it blooms. Then the autumn, where it kind of matures and gets starts to, like a wine, I suppose, starts to mature in its taste and whatnot. And then the winter period, where it sort of calcifies and becomes static and essentially starts to die. And that's where you essentially get rationalism coming in, and the bifurcation of the arts and whatnot. So
we can actually see this happening in the United Kingdom in particular, can't we? So obviously in the 18th century is the spring period of the UK, of Great Britain. The 19th century is the summer and high water period.
Wow.
Go on.
You would, if we're talking about Spengler, you wouldn't look at it in terms of nations. It would be Western civilization as a whole, which is distinct from the classical civilization. So, but you can. But
in the case,
if we assume that everything goes in cycles, you can see.
Yeah, I think
there's a fractal element to it where you could transpose that onto actual nations themselves. Yeah,
sure. And I think you can definitely see that in Britain. And then come the 20th century, it's been a long, slow decline, and now we're reaching the nadir of that. My God, anyone in Britain at the moment knows things have never been this bad. Let's have a quick look at who's in this, shall we?
Yeah.
Because I'm very impressed with some of the authors. The first one's me. And I love the frame on this. I mean, the first thing is Islander number 3, Winter 24-25. Collectors of Aesthetic and Philosophical Metapolitics, Swindon, Wiltshire, England. I love it. It's just, honestly, I don't know why I love it. There's something about it that absolutely works for me, and the whole thing is just unbelievably gorgeous.
Thank you.
Anyway, so the first thing we've got is something I've been working on for a long time, and I'm very, very proud of, and looks beautiful, which is the Anglo-Saxon poem The Wanderer. Now, this is called the Eardstapper, which is how it was properly said in Anglo-Saxon, but we've got a brand new translation that I sat down with an Anglo-Saxon scholar called Stephen Cox, and we, for many hours, he sat there explaining to me the individual details of what the Anglo-Saxon words were and why they were translated in various ways through the current translations that already existed. And so with him, I worked on our new one to get what I thought was a more accurate translation of what was being said. Because in some parts of it, there are things that are just idiomatic, which don't make sense in modern English, like referring to like horse and carts or something like that. But there are some things that are directly translated which also don't really make sense. And it's hard to, like, like, for example, at one point he says the fallow sea, and fallow means kind of, in modern English, kind of yellowish. And so I was talking to Stephen, who's an American chap, and he was like, he's saying it's yellow, but I don't really know why he'd say that. I'm like, okay, well, what else could it mean? It's like, desaturated and grey. And I was like, right. And so I just got Stephen a picture of the North Sea in winter. It's just this grey, horrible thing. And it's like, that's what he's saying. So we've translated fallow to grey because that's what the Wanderer is trying to tell us. He's saying, look, this is just a cold,
grey sea.
Exactly, a cold grey winter sea in the North Sea. And if you're not from Northwest Europe, you don't know what it looks like. Like if you're an American and you're from like Florida or California or something, you're used to beautiful, sparkling, rich, warm blues and sands. No, that's not what this is. This is a much hardier place, and this is something that very much comes across in the Earth Step. I love the word Earth Stepper as well. It just feels more weighty. Wanderer is correct. But Earth Stepper is literal.
Different connotation.
It's absolutely got, because Wanderer's got connotations of consent, right? It's not like, yeah, I choose to be a wanderer and go and explore things. But Earthstepper is someone who's been condemned to it, you know, because that's what the theme is. And so, anyway, we've got this amazing translation, but then I've written a nice long essay to go with it to explore all of the aspects of it. And honestly, it's my favorite thing that I've ever done. I've been waiting for years to do this, and this seems like exactly the appropriate place to put it. We have, of course, a slightly cynical take on what's happening with Donald Trump in America by Dr. Nima Parvini. It's not entirely cynical, but it's just
realist.
It's a realist position. Look, you know, you're going to get a lot of what you want, but you will also have to understand you're going to get things you don't want, and it's not going to be as radical as you think.
Luca Johnson's done a series on Lord of the Rings throughout all 3 magazines. He started with Faramir, I think.
Yeah, it's called The Marshals of Middle-earth.
Yeah.
He did Boromir, Faramir,
and
now he's done Éowyn.
Éowyn, yeah.
I haven't had time to read this.
Really great article as well.
His Marshals of Middle-earth ones have been my favourite ones by far, even beyond my own, just because it's my favourite subject.
Yeah. And it finished with a piece by me, which I won't go into because it's quite loaded with symbolism, I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So what did actually happen? Because I understand that even now, some people still haven't received the Islander 2. By the way, if you're one of those people, email contact@lotuseast.com and we're just going to post you one directly, regardless of how else we were supposed to get it to you.
Yeah. Well, firstly, apologies for everyone who hasn't received theirs. We don't really know what happened. So we obviously went with a different distributor to who we had for issue 1 for various reasons. Mostly because of efficiency. However, as it transpired, they've let us down in a sense. We don't know if it's due to the printer or the distributor, because there's a sort of middleman situation going on. But we've looked for clarity on this and sort of haven't been able to find any.
Yeah, I spoke to Pete, our office manager, about this because he was chasing them relentlessly, and at one point they just told him to stop calling, and that's obviously not acceptable.
Yeah.
So we've chosen a different distributor who is highly reputable, as I understand it.
Yeah. So we basically gone with a logistics provider. So the whole system has been streamlined. So as opposed to you waiting several weeks to get your magazine, you'll now be hopefully waiting a few days. So as soon as you order, we're going to get the stock there. So as soon as the orders come in, your order will be flagged up. They will pack it and ship it directly to you within a matter of days, as opposed to a few weeks. So
okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. And again, sorry that this has all happened. We weren't expecting it. And we've done everything we can to get them to bloody well post it. And the weird thing is as well, like a couple of months afterwards, I'd get, messages from people saying, oh, my copy of Islander arrived. I'm like, okay, why would it have taken that long? To be honest with you, I'm kind of getting suspicious that they lost a box of the prints or something, and then found them at the back of the warehouse or something. So, who knows, right?
But now, over the last couple of weeks, we're now getting a trickle through of loads of people receiving them in the US, and that's since we've put up a fuss about it and been pushing for answers. So who knows?
So anyway, like I said, we're really sorry about that, and we've made sure this will not happen a second time. If you haven't yet received it somehow, just email us. We will get we will get that posted out to you. Again, this is not going to happen again. So when does Islander 3 go on sale? I actually don't know.
I actually don't know yet. I hope in the next couple of weeks. But
it will be very, very soon. So we'll let you all know.
Yeah. We've got some more stuff to sort out on the distribution end, but it should be mid February, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Superb. Right. So keep an eye out for that. And again, sorry about the mishandled distribution for Islander 2. We are making sure that's not going to happen twice. Again, contact us if you didn't get it. You will get it, and Islander 3 will be coming very soon, folks.